Greetings YouTube, LMS Tactical here. Hope everybody's doing good. As you can see, I'm trying to beat the heat here and get the dogs walked before it gets too hot and humid. For those of you that are not on this side of the planet, we're having a really hot summer. And of course here in Virginia, we got the humidity too. So if it's, 100 degrees outside, it feels a lot worse because of the humidity. So try to get the dogs walked early. But I was just sitting here thinking, and hopefully I can do a video without them dropping a load, and then I've got to cut this short while I do what needs to be done. But I was thinking about those of you in the States. We're all going through so much right now, politically and just economically and socially and blah blah blah. But it's all for really a lot of the same reasons, not the least of which is this pandemic, or whatever you want to call it. But with what just went down in South Africa, and for those of you in the States and in Canada and other places that may not be aware, you need to do just a little bit of research. There's a lot of information out there. I don't need to duplicate it about the rioting and the looting and just the complete savage burning down of property and theft in the entire country of South Africa, based on some issue that went down with the former president. And it doesn't really matter what the cause was, because my purpose today is to talk about some of back when this channel was new. One of the things I used to talk about was prepping for when shit hits the fan. And we talk about that on and off on this channel. Now, South Africa, for lots of reasons, has always been what I consider to be the canary in the coal mine. And for you young people that don't understand that reference, that goes back years ago, during the old days here, and probably throughout the world, when miners were deep in the mines. They would take birds with them in little cages, so that if the canary died, they'd look down, the canary's dead. That would be their indication, hey, there's toxic fumes in this area, this section of the mine, time to get out of here. It was like an early warning device. So South Africa, for many reasons, has been the canary in the coal mine with what happens to the rest of the Western world. A lot of it, I could talk for hours on just post-apartheid experimentation on multiculturalism and how, in my opinion, that has failed miserably. Here you had one section of the country, of the population, controlled by another section. Doesn't matter what side you're on. That's just the fundamental facts of the matter back then. And when that was overturned, all of the control of the country was given to the formerly controlled population, who you would have expected to make the best out of that and improve the country, and made great use of their political, social, and economic freedoms. That's not what happened. They ended up collapsing into a corrupt communist state filled with violent crimes, racist crimes, xenophobia beyond belief, and blah blah blah. But in more recent times, when we think about what's happened with all this looting. Now, like I said, look it up and you'll see that just about every store, every shop, every business has been destroyed. And when you think about the prepping videos that are all over the internet and things I used to make, this is the times we were talking about. And now we can look and see. And in South Africa, we can really see who prepped and who didn't, and what worked and what's not working. Because they've got lines, they call them queues over in that part of the world, but lines that go on literally for miles of people that are just waiting to get some kind of food each day. How long is that going to last? When we used to talk about prepping, we used to talk about just a matter of a few months. And some of the more savvy people, preppers, would talk about a few years. But for the most part, people were into the months of prepping. I don't think that's going to cut it in South Africa. And I'm wondering what a lot of the South Africans, maybe you could leave little comments here about how you're coping with the shortages. And maybe, you know, I'm getting a view of what's going on over there. It's not accurate. Maybe you could let us know in the comments if it is bad where you're at. You know, just give a section of the country you're at in South Africa. And is it totally destroyed the way it looks from the information I'm getting? I mean, we all know about the areas like Durban, where we're totally wiped out. But what about the rest of the country? One thing I can say that I was super proud of was I saw sections of that country where communities would band together, all races, and not allow their infrastructure to be destroyed. They armed themselves with whatever they could. Their guns are highly restricted over there, but they would arm themselves. If they had firearms, they did, and if not, they'd use other implements. But they stood together. Hey, good morning. So they stood together and they protected what was theirs. They protected their property. So, yeah, I was happy to see that. But yeah, I do wonder what's going on in terms of the average South African family, who now maybe their place of business was burned down, or they don't have any way to get to where they used to work, or they don't have a job at all. How are you guys surviving? What's going on there? I know you can't depend on that government. Their government in the best of times, post-apartheid, was inefficient, and that's being polite. Their police, I hate to say it, you know, I'm pro-cop, but the South African police force is rampant with corruption and ineptness. Just unbelievable shit. And like, you know, just same thing that happened here during the hurricanes, Katrina, where we had cops on video looting. The same thing happened over there. You got them over there looting too. That's probably on a much larger extent in South Africa, I would think. From what I know about their issues. But for those of us in the States here, and in the West, in Canada, and Australia, anywhere, well, not that Australia is, well, yeah, I guess it's still kind of the West, and Western ideology. But for the rest of us, we need to take a good look at that, at what's going on over there and how people are coping, and adjust accordingly. Because if you don't think that shit's coming to where you're at, you're sound asleep. You know, I've been prepping for years, and I just can tell you right now, I'm not anywhere near prepared as I should be. And so this whole thing has been a wake-up call to me too. And time is really running out here. With all this bullshit pandemic stuff, I mean, our country is probably going to be, you just never know. I mean, we're probably going to be locked down soon, and we're facing the potential for serious violence too, because half of our country doesn't believe in this shit. They all think we're getting jacked around by this fake administration that we don't believe belongs in the White House. Many of us don't even believe they are in the White House. So we are in a more explosive state in America in terms of potential for violence than we've ever been in my life. And my next birthday, I'll be 60. So yeah, interesting times. What do you guys... in the comments, no matter where you're at, let me know what your thoughts are. Are you prepared? Do you need to do more? If you're in South Africa, did you prepare? Is it working? Did you get enough? Did you do enough preparation to where it was effective? Maddie, come on. Or do you wish you would have done more? Let us know so that we can learn from the things you did right and the things you did wrong. In the meantime, know that I'm praying for you guys. Be safe. And yeah. LMS Tactical, I'm out.